Hello and welcome to the program The Desk on Global Television. My name is Anthony Momodu. Welcoming to today's edition. Today being the of July 2024, and we're in with very interesting talking points. As usual, we get the finest minds in the continent to help us look at this very interesting talking point. Today is no different, as we've got someone who is an author and also a public affairs analyst, and put in between that, someone who is also has some experience in the banking sector. Being our guest on today's edition, we've got Adabugo Gertrude Uzo as our guest on today's edition of the program, The Desk. Good evening, and thank you for joining me on the program.
Good evening, Tony. I'm glad to be with you here today.
Let's move into the judiciary, where a very interesting talking point plays out. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, will swear in 12 new judges of the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory on Wednesday. But a lot of issues have come out from that event that is to play out as regards the fact that some influential Nigerians are said to be in that lineup, looking at the daughter of the FCT minister being said to be among the judges, and also the fact that even the Chief Justice daughter is among the 12 judges for the FCT. When you hear those kind of controversial or those kind of issues, it's not like it's out of place for Nelson Wike to have an in-law who is a judge and all that. But the fact that the Nigeria we're in, are these some of the reasons why we see a judiciary that is always giving us conflicting rulings?
I'll come to the point you made about it not being out of place. It is out of place, but I'll come to that later. Now, we have established, or we already know that one of the major problems we have is the powerlessness of our judiciary, or inability of our judiciary to actually do what they're supposed to do, or the corruption that's actually eating all over the nation. Now, what you said is just a pure case of nepotism. There's no two ways about it. And nepotism and democracy are not friends. Nepotism and democracy are not friends. Okay? Because they're just ensuring or trying to maintain or establish the oligarchy. We already know that is in place. If you're not careful, the oligarchy will soon turn to monarchy. Yeah. So that you ensure that it is your son that we start having an heir to the throne. If we're not careful. It may not happen literally, but in a sense, that is what is playing out. Because you want to instill people in place to protect your interest, probably when you are still there and when you move. Okay, imagine that your daughter is now in the High Court and you are serving as the FCT minister. When you leave the nation, when you leave the seat and you happen to be, or even when you are on seat, and there is some misconduct that needs to be questioned, and we take you to the court where your daughter is the
judge.
I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect?
Okay,
so this is a pure case of nepotism. And for this to continue happening in Nigeria, our democracy will not really get to where it's supposed to get.
Okay, we know that the Judicial Council, one of their roles is to, discipline erring judges and also ensure sanity in the profession. Are you worried that the NJC, the National Judicial Council, seem to be docile and not up and doing when such issues come up?
Of course, it's worrisome. It is worrisome because the willpower to serve the people in Nigeria, in terms of good leadership, is not really seen in our leaders. Yes, there is what we call incentivization. Incentives are beautiful and good. But when you look at it, it will be bribing somehow for people to shut their mouth, for people to no longer do what they're supposed to do, for people to remain in their comfort zone and be comfortable. If you check the salaries of the Chief Justices, the judicial system, maybe it has spiked in the past 1 year, all in the name of incentivizations. Now, Now, if you are made so comfortable in such largesse, how will you? And again, the judiciary is supposed to be superintendent over the executive. The executive is not the one feeding you. How do you begin to attack the finger that fed you? In a common African adage understanding, you can't bite the finger that fed you. You can't, because you'll be shooting yourself in the legs and you're digging your own grave.
A very sad commentary there, but just to let you know that Victoria Ariwola, Victoria, who is the daughter of the CJN, is one of the 12 judges that will be appointed to one of the high courts in the Federal Capital Territory, and not also forgetting that she's coming from representing Oyo State, and that's one of the controversial issues, the fact that the daughter was... I
understand that 86 nominees were made.
Yeah, but we've got 12. It was,
shortlisted and taken down to 12. And among the 12, two.
One is the daughter-in-law. Wike, yes.
And the daughter-in-law is there because probably the son himself is not a lawyer. The daughter-in-law is a wife to the son. That's what it means. Meaning that she is the son, because husband and wife are one. Assuming the son is a lawyer, he will be the person there. So this is a pure nepotism, oligarchy that is strengthening daily, becoming stronger and deeper. And there is nothing Nigerians are doing about it.
So does this mean more dangers for the judiciary?
Absolutely. And for the entire nation. You see, greed. People, enjoy the moment. But at the end of the day, the whole system suffers. There's something you said I countered that I will tell you the reason later. You said that there may not be, it's not as if it's wrong. Yes, it's absolutely wrong. I'll still use the example of the banking system. In fact, in the entire corporate system, there is this something called insider factor that is avoided by every reasonable and serious organization. Such that even during the recruitment process, they will ask you, are you related to any... You see such questions in recruitment interview questions. You think it's just a joke. It's to remove this type of possibilities. Because family relationship is strong. You cannot surround yourself with people of the same place, in a place that belongs to everybody, and you tell me that oligarchy will not, monarchy will not, nepotism will not. We are just mere human beings. We are mere human beings. So the thing is that you don't keep pitching your tent near Sodom, as they will say. You don't keep putting yourself in vulnerable situations, putting yourself in situations of temptation. You know that this is wrong. And if rough comes to, push comes to shove, you will rather save your son than die for your country.
All right, that's a strong point.
So why will you go ahead in a situation that belongs to the country? You bring your son in. There should be a demarcation. That is why serious organizations don't play this insider factor. In the shareholdings of companies. That is why, if you're not careful, you see people buying shares in a companies in pseudonyms and fake names. After years and years, they suddenly emerge. You see that one family now has 80% shares. They will take over that company.
All right, so what is CJN and Wike's factor amongst the 12 judges?
It's totally wrong. Absolutely wrong. Assuming it is even a different dispensation. Let Wike finish his tenure as FCT minister.
And let the CJN finish his tenure.
Yes, it is so glaring. Too much slap in the faces of Nigerians, and we can't do anything about it.
All right, a very sad commentary. Let's move on.